So I'm sharing my screen and I hope you can see it. Is it visible? Yes. Okay, nice. So it's Copilot, right? So Copilot is an AI from Microsoft. Okay, well, I believe you are familiar with ChatGPT. We're gonna get to ChatGPT, okay, but I'm going to start with Copilot first. Well, if you are a Windows laptop user, if you have Windows laptop like Windows 11, Windows 10, you have this on your computer, on your laptop. You can just search for Copilot. If you use Microsoft Edge, you can basically see on the top right of your browser. Or let's say if you just have a browser, you can just go to copilot.microsoft.com or just search Microsoft Copilot, you can find the website. However, what I'm opening right now is the app version, the native app version, because it would be much smoother to share screen. Okay. Well, basically, it's like ChatGPT. You can chat with it. You can ask anything, let's say, or you can create lesson plans. You can create worksheets. You can talk with it through chats. But what I'm going to demonstrate here is this feature. So you can find like talk to Copilot. Okay? This is also available on mobile. Okay, so if you install or you go to an app store, you search for Copilot, what you need is just a Microsoft account. And I'm using a free account, a basic account. So I just want to be clear that I'm not endorsing any programs or any apps. Like I'm not related to the developer. Okay, so I'm not going to push you into please use Microsoft Copilot or ChatGPT and others. No, I don't really care about the tools. What I would like to share is that how we can replicate these ideas into different tools with the similar capability. Okay, so I'm going to click Start Copilot, and this is what will happen. Hello
Hey,
there.
Fajarudin, what's up?
Yes, can you hear me clear?
Loud and
Yes.
clear. How about you?
I'm currently doing the demonstration. You remember, right? I told you.
Absolutely, Fajarudin. I remember you're all about those engaging demos. How's it going?
I'm currently presenting you and introducing you to the teacher. So can you tell what you can help with in terms of speaking practice?
Sure thing. I can help teachers with speaking practice by offering real-time conversation, role plays, or even pronunciation nuances. I can tailor dialogues to specific topics, giving students a dynamic and interactive learning experience. Plus, I'm always ready for questions and feedback. Ready to give it a try?
Yeah, so well, I prefer Copilot compared to ChatGPT because somehow it's more natural because that's how they set it up or program it up. And what nice about Copilot is when you open talk to Copilot, it will greet you first. While in ChatGPT, you have to greet the ChatGPT first, but in Copilot, they will say hi to you and then ask what you want to do with Copilot. So I have come up with ideas. So can we play like a mystery guess where you can be a mystery guest for the students?
Absolutely, I'm in. Let's play the mystery guest game. What's the first clue?
But first thing first, you really need to speak slower. Like my students are like A1, A2 level in English.
Got it. I'll slow down my speech. Let's start the game again. What's the first clue for the mystery guest?
You can come up with it.
All right, here's the first clue. I'm someone who loves talking about technology and education. Who am I?
Would you like to share your answer in the chat? Well, can you come up with someone more famous? Okay.
Absolutely. Here's a clue for a famous person. I was a co-founder of Microsoft and played a key role in the personal computer revolution. Who am I?
Come on. Who is this? Okay. Right, I will try Bill Gates, okay? Are you Bill Gates?
Spot on. Nice guess. Now, ready for another clue?
Yeah, so that's one idea. So again, this is like a basic concept of what you can do. So you can come up with games like this, or like you show this AI in a big projector in your classroom, and then you set up a microphone and a big speaker, and your students can speak with it, talk with it, if let's say your students are below 13 years old. So I would really also raise the awareness of the privacy and also ethically how you can use AI tools. Like as example, someone needs to be at least 13 years old in some countries to be able to create an account or use AI tool. So my best suggestion is like if you are teaching younger students, like let's say primary students or even secondary school students, I would really recommend it not the students that use the AI, but you use it in the classroom. But let's say it turns out that you have figured out the policy that the students can use AI, it would be even more convenient to let the students know that they can practice with Copilot. And also, what's good about it is when you're done with your conversation, um, you can find your transcript, right? So you can revisit what you have been talking about. Okay. And also with Copilot and also ChatGPT, you can basically first prompt it in the chat and then talk about it. As example, let's set up an IELTS part one speaking practice. Okay. I will be your examiner. Okay. You are an expert candidate. This is another idea that I have come up with, that instead of using AI as the examiner, we can try to use AI as the candidate, so students can become the examiner, so they can learn a model answer from the AI. Like that. But it can be the other way, like the AI is the examiner, the student is the test candidates, and then they can give feedback. But I think it's very good to have a start where students can also get a model answer. Okay, let's start.
I'm ready for the challenge, Fajruddin. Fire away with those IELTS Part 1 questions whenever you're set.
Okay, let's talk about your hometown. What kind of place is it?
My hometown is a small, charming town surrounded by rolling hills and lush greenery. It's known for its friendly community, vibrant markets, and a mix of traditional culture and modern living. What about you?
Well, this is an IELTS, so you don't ask back questions to the examiner.
You're right. Let me try that again.
Okay, so as you can see, it's I can say worryingly natural on how it brings up conversation. So again, this is the idea. I believe that you can come up with more things that you can do in your classroom, or let's say to facilitate your students. Because I know some challenges in some countries, like in Indonesia, it's quite difficult to find speaking partner or someone to practice speaking with, because English is still considered as a language that is not actually used in our daily practice, instead of, well, except for a certain situation like highly academic classes, like international classroom, international programs, or even in multinational company. So I think it can be a good tool for that. Now, I'm going to move on to ChatGPT. And for ChatGPT, I will use my mobile phone. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen to my mobile mirror. Okay, so I believe it's visible. Okay. Cambridge exam assessment criteria, have you print out it? Okay, thank you, Hannah. That's a good question. So I will also come up with that. Okay, so this is the mirror view of my mobile phone. So I'm using a mirror screen app. So again, I'm using, you see, it still has the Get Plus on it. So I'm using a free account just to show you that you don't have to actually subscribe to replicate this idea. Why I choose to demonstrate it in mobile app, because there is one thing that is not available in the desktop version or computer version. So again, it's basically the same thing. You can go to this button and then we'll start. So you can turn on the CC and then you can have a caption. Hi there, are you remember about my presentation that I'm going to have?
speaking demonstration on Thursday. Sounds like an exciting session. How's the preparation going?
Well, I'm doing it right now.
That's awesome. I'm sure it's going to be great. If you need any help or want to bounce ideas around, just let me know.
Well, these are English teachers, so kindly come up with simple ideas on how they can use you to help their students in practicing their speaking.
Absolutely. I can definitely help with that. You could highlight how teachers can use AI to simulate conversational partners for their students, provide instant feedback on pronunciation and fluency, and even create customized speaking prompts. It can really make the practice more dynamic and personalized.
Okay, so it's only available on mobile app, like where if you use it on the desktop version, unfortunately, it doesn't show like captions or subtitles, but it's still working on browser. Like you can go to chatgpt.com like usual, and then you can click basically the speaker buttons, and yeah, it will come up with the transcript of your conversation with it. So again, that's a simple idea. You can come up with anything. So I'm not sharing like a templated prompt. So use this prompt or that now, because now we can say that the AI tools are getting smarter. So they can just come up naturally. Like you can just come up like what you want to do with the AI. As example, I want to do this, I want to do that. Let's do this, let's do that. Okay, let's simulate the conversation. I want you to be an IELTS examiner. I want you to model an IELTS speaking answer, and so on and so on. So you don't really have to worry about getting the right prompt because, again, it's about how natural we instruct or let's say set the scenario with the AI. Now, one last thing that I would like to share before we move on to the discussion is the one that Cambridge created back in 2020, as I remember. So this is developed by the Cambridge University Press and Assessment. It's Speak and Improve. Well, it's a nice one. I've been using it. I have been recommending it to my students, for especially for those who are preparing for Cambridge exams or the IELTS. Well, it's similar to the Write and Improve, which I believe quite popular. While Write and Improve help with writing, Speak and Improve help with speaking. So you can click practice a speaking skill and practice taking complete tests. And now they have various topics like something like this: give a presentation about graphic, give a presentation about something personal. Though it's not a conversational situation, it can be a good tool to measure progress, or at least to, if as example your students want to know how far they have improved in terms of scoring using the CFR, and also related to IELTS or Cambridge exam. For example, something that is very typical in IELTS is that give a presentation about something personal. So it looks like IELTS speaking part 2. So the students have 1 minute and then can use a microphone and speak to it. But it's not a conversation. But again, it can be really a helpful tool for students who want to know about their score, or maybe for you to probably assess formatively your students to keep practicing and also to see their progress. They have like summarize and discuss. And the feedback is quite simple. It's just like the CFR level, and the students can listen to their own recording, but it's not that comprehensive or details. And unlike Write and Improve, where you can subscribe for a pro version, unfortunately, Cambridge and Improve doesn't have that feature yet, probably. So we can look forward to what Cambridge University Press can come up with in the near future to support speaking practice using AI. So I think that's the demonstration, Sani. I don't know if if I am using the time effectively.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Do you have any more demonstration that you wanted to show, or due to time constraint, you think you can just stop here?
Yeah, I think we can go on to
We can go on to the
discussion.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I just thought it's like such an interesting talk because it's an actual tangible way of using AI. We've been talking about AI for quite a long time now, but it's really good to see like real use cases. And for me personally, it really surprised me when you asked the AI chatbot to slow down, and it actually did. I didn't know it could do that. I think one question is kind of similar to what Hannah asked. Is about like, do you pre-train these models, or do you just start the chat every time and then kind of give the instructions every time? Because I was quite surprised when you told the chatbot about that you're preparing for a presentation, and then it seemed to know the context. So I was just wondering, like, what kind of pre-training did you do to the chatbots? And for everyone else in the call, feel free to drop your questions in the chat or raise your hand to ask more questions.
Okay, I would like to share about the ones what I did. So the chatbot actually can, remember or what we have been doing together with the chatbot. So basically, the development of AI now is that they save the memory that we have together. As example, the more you use ChatGPT, you can basically navigate to your profile in your account in ChatGPT, and you can manage your the memory of ChatGPT. And you can also free prompt it, like as example, what you want ChatGPT to remember about you. Well, I know there might be some concern about this, how they save our data, right? But well, if we talk about the benefits and advantage, that we can work more efficiently and effectively if we actually integrate these chatbots in our day-to-day operation, whether we are working, doing activities, or even teaching. So that's why I also mentioned that it's no longer necessary. It's no longer necessary to actually using prompt templates to keep on with using chatbot, because again, they are getting developed, and you can actually keep on having conversation with it. So let's say we can nurture it in order to personalize the answers to ourselves. So maybe back in the day when it first launched, how we can make AI more human, or how we can humanize AI, which I think and I believe it's a bit contrary. I don't think we want to humanize AI. Well, because they are AI and we are the human, right? We don't want to make AI another human like that. We want to use them as an AI instead of making them a human or humanize them. So that's why my proposal is that how we can use AI personalized to our needs, make them as an assistant. So that's what I have been doing. So I keep chatting with it, and also, of course, again, try to be more aware and careful on what you submit or input to the chatbot, especially if it's too personal, like identifications and others. So I try to keep it things related to my work, whether it's about teaching, whether it's about working with some curriculums. However, related to Hannah questions, these chatbot might have their database, like massive database. However, it can be really helpful to input some ideas. As example, CFR. As example, like I wanted to assess, or let's say create an activity based on these descriptions. However, again, you might need to figure out whether it's ethically acceptable to input certain data. As example, I do not recommend, and I believe it's not right thing to do when you upload a page of a Cambridge IELTS preparation book to ChatGPT, because basically it's against copyright, the copyright issue of that book. Okay, so you might want to figure out what you can do and not do with the products that you are using, as example, books. But again, if it's general thing, you can actually ask ChatGPT, as example, explain CFR or explain the ability of A1, and then you can assess ChatGPT's or Copilot's understanding of these descriptions, and then you can always revise it again to what you need. That's my principle so far using AI. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Fajar. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. You need to kind of double check what you want to input in there, because once you input, it's probably there forever. And then also, yeah, just have to be cautious. Any more questions from the floor, any feedback, or anyone else want to share how you've been using AI to help students practice speaking? It'll be really interesting to hear from different parts of the world how you're actually using AI in the classroom. Maybe not just for speaking, but also yeah, about like how to help students with writing, how to help with lesson planning, which is quite interesting to hear from the floor. Anyone brave enough to? Yeah, Thomas, you can briefly introduce yourself first.
First of all, let me check if I'm audible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to comment on some doubts and fears that some of us have shared over AI, and I think they are well grounded because it's still a new tool. Let's face it, most of us know only its basic functions. We are not always sure what happens with the data and so on. But on the other hand, I guess we shouldn't disregard it or discard it too easily, in spite of all the disadvantages that I have just listed. First of all, the biggest plus of AI in the way that Fajarudin has just presented it is it's an excellent icebreaker for the introverts, those of students who find it well, primarily, as Fajarudin has pointed out, there are many students who don't have any options to practice speaking, and especially in the form of one-to-one lessons. It's just the only way out, in fact, in situations like this. Those who do have classroom education options, they still sometimes they don't get enough practice for many reasons that we are all aware of: the size of classes, the number of lessons per week, and so on and so on. Here, AI comes in handy. I do agree, however, with the comment that it could be risky to leave examination practice to be done solely, entirely by means of AI conversations, because no matter how much we trust it, from my own experience, I know that all the models available find it difficult to conform with exam requirements and so on, criteria. So here, I guess most of this work has to be done inside the classroom. So to wrap it up, I guess we could encourage students to practice fluency with AI, but as for specific examination purposes, fortunately or unfortunately, this should be done with professional supervision, with someone who knows the exam nature and so on. There is just one more thing, and in fact, I learned about it yesterday. I watched one of my local YouTubers here, and this charming young gentleman shared some info about a place called LM Arena. It's a place where we can compare several AI models. There are current standings as for what they are capable of, how they are rated, and so on. And if we are looking for AI to meet our specific needs, this is the place that I guess is worth having a look at. So yes, once again, it's been thank you very much for inviting me, and another opportunity to spend some time with teachers from all over the world.
Thank you, Thomas. You're from Poland, right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, okay. Nice to hear some thoughts from Poland. Marissa?
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Marisa from Argentina. First of all, thank you for your ideas. They're really great. As for your question, Shani, I have never used it in listening, so I find this great, but I've been using it for many uses. Some of them, for example, I remember last week, for example, essays, a problem with students. So, for example, to ask so you, as he says, you give the outline of the essays you want to them to write and say leave blanks, or they have to complete it, or give options between the register to analyze the register. So put words that are similar, but the register doesn't matches because it's CAE or it's B2. Well, even charts, for example, this is simple. Fill in the blank exercise. You ask them, say, with this group of words, please. Another one, correcting. So gives you an idea. Says, can you correct this for level B1? And you have a look, of course, if you agree or disagree. But also I found it quite useful, for example, CAE students, sometimes they don't understand the difference in register. So they mix the words. So, and I say ChatGPT can underline the words that are low in register and say why they are, and does it in seconds very well with the definition underline. So many uses. But now I've added sex to you and listening. It would be great. But I've been using it for a while and really is useful. Of course, all the time consuming activities can be reduced enormously because you can have a chart or you can have an exercise in seconds. You, of course, as a teacher, you have to analyze. Not always is perfect. There may be things, but it's not the same when we used to type an exercise for, I don't know, an hour designing it. So it's a really time saver. And thank you very much for your ideas, please, the speaker. Okay, this is what I want to say. Thank you very much. Very interesting.
Thank you, Marissa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marissa.
Thank you for sharing.
We have a comment from Leo. But before going to that, Jason, did you have a question or comment? Because I saw your hand up. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Oh,
we cannot hear you.
We can't hear you.
No, unfortunately not yet.
Yeah. Maybe you can type it in the chat if that's easier. Sometimes just take issues. But if we go to Leo's comment, I think it's a big concern for lots of teachers is that students just use AI for ready answers. So I don't know, from your point of view, Fajar, how do you cope with this? Do you kind of restrict students on using AI? Because we've been just talking about how teachers can use it, right? But just
Correct.
do you have any views on how students are using it?
Okay, thank you. Well, it's always a great question. It's always an interesting topic to discuss with, right? As example, we are using AI, like we use AI. Why don't the students do, right? And it would be, unfortunately, unfair if we use them, but we block students from using it. Well, I'm a very lucky situation because I teach adults. So I teach business English and professionals. But here's my take. So the thing with cheating with AI, as example, because that's the most concern, right? That the students will cheat using AI. Well, I don't think it's about the AI. I mean, like they're going to cheat anyway without the AI. They have been cheating anyway with the AI. So, but however, we can understand it's getting easier to cheat. So it means what we need to pay attention to is like why do they want to cheat, right? Why do they need to cheat? That's the biggest question. Because again, because I teach adults, they don't want to cheat, they don't care about cheating. Well, there are situations where you can use AI, you can use AI to revise your writing, and they don't. Even in my context, it's actually not easy to ask them to use AI because for them it's a new tool, it's a new technology, and they don't bother to learn them like that. They just want to do it manually. However, for their context, it's going to be more useful to use, as example, at work, to help them with work. And well, it's already everywhere in the industry, right? And unfortunately, it's always the education sector that still trying to grasp with the development of what is happening especially when it comes to technology. Well, there have been many strategies, there have been frameworks published by, as example, Cambridge University Press and Assessment also. I know it's not easy to actually transition to what we actually need to do and will do in the end of the day of how we integrate AI, because it turns out that learning is more valuable in AI age, right? Where technology can make everything a lot easier, right? So it turns out that learning, it's not about scoring, it's not about assessing, because at the end of the day, the problem with using AI is that we don't know how to assess, right? But again, my take is how we can make sure that these students learn using AI to learn. That's what we have been doing so far with technology, not only AI, how they can learn from the internet, how they can learn from using social media, how they can learn digital awareness, how they can connect. Because, well, for their future, when they go into the industry, they work as professionals, well, they will even compete with AI, and we don't want them to be left behind, right? However, to the next question, I need some AI who can find where students need to improve and give them more practices based on that. Well, there have been many AI tools developed for that. Some AI tools that published by educational technology publishers, and also AI that is developed by technology company. However, there are certain ways that we can make use of ChatGPT as example, or Copilot is by using prompts, and we can share the prompts with the students. So instead of, as example, worrying that the students using AI, we can let them know how they need to use AI. Because as we know, students don't actually know whether the AI answer is good. And that's what we want them to know. We want them to actually critically analyze that whether the AI results are better than their own result. Right? Well, in the end of the day, that's learning for them. So especially in language learning, where language is actually the main power of AI. That's why we call them large language models, because their power is language compared to most technology where they're powered by mathematics, as example, algorithm. AI is powered by language. And by understanding how AI works is actually how to understand language works, syntaxes and everything. To answer the second question on how we can use AI to, well, there have been many tools for that, I believe, whether it's from Microsoft or from Google. Like now, or well, if you are based in China, China is also one of the foremost industry in developing their technology. So yeah, there are many tools for that, and we can actually look forward to what Cambridge University Press can come up with, because it's unavoidable, right? We need to catch up with technology. Yeah, the tech AI generated tech, but still it is better, just like Fajar required, try to understand. Yes, because yeah, well, why? It's difficult to actually detect whether it's AI generated or not, and it's, I believe, meaningless to point out, well, this is AI generated. Well, your lesson is AI generated. The students might say, and we need to be open with it. Well, we cannot avoid it. Like some lessons that are created are generated by AI, especially when it comes to help us in terms of personalizations. As example, personalizing worksheet, personalizing reading text, and so on and so on. And yeah, step by step on how we understand that AI is not always correct, and we need the students to understand that AI is not always correct, and they will in the future need to be able or to have the skills to know that AI is not always correct and know how to use it correctly. Okay, I think that's
Yeah.
my take.
Yeah,
for now.
absolutely. Yeah, I guess the key takeaway is that maybe batting isn't like the best solution because it's already happening in the world. But what teachers need to do is kind of teach the student how to use it responsibly and critically, I think. And then also I've just popped the link in the chat. It's the Gen AI idea pack that Cambridge has published before. So if you want some ideas of how to actually use AI to kind of make your lessons more interactive, you can check out some ideas there. I'm pretty sure in the future we'll publish more of these. Yeah, so we'll definitely share it with the members. Right. Any more questions or feedback? And also in the chat, I've also put in a link to join Experts with Cambridge. So if there are guests that Fajar invited and you're still not a part of the community, we are more than welcome for you to join the community and join all of these wonderful educators that we have on this call today. I think we have one question from Ada in the chat. Yeah. Fajar, do you want to take this question?
Well, it's a good start. Using AI tools to practice with. However, whether the question is, do you think it is advisable? I don't advise. I don't recommend it if it's for scoring. I don't recommend it, right? Because again, maybe they don't actually know the fundamentals of how to be an examiner, right? Even though maybe they have the database of descriptors for IELTS, as example. So I would pay attention more to the feedback. As example, how sentence is structured, because well, they are the best. Well, these robots are the best at structuring these sentences, these syntaxes. So I would really recommend to pay attention more to the feedback instead of the score. And again, when it comes to feedback, it would be great. And I believe somehow these robots are the best at analyzing these syntaxes or sentence structures. As example, something to do with grammar, something to do with lexical resources, or even with content on how to, or maybe to organize those writing. Even though there are many other tools that is specified for that, even if you go to ChatGPT, let me share my screen once again. Sorry. Wait, I think I shared the wrong screen, sorry. There you go. If you go to ChatGPT, you can find open sidebar, you can find GPTs. So GPTs are customized ChatGPT created by users, where if you subscribe to a pro version, you can also custom your own ChatGPT. And if you, as example, search IELTS, and then you can find a lot of users creating, like IELTS speaking, English language learning, IELTS writing, English language learning. But again, I don't really recommend, and I won't rely on scoring. Okay. However, with this kind of help or feature, so we don't have to go back from the start, okay, or start from zero. You could just so these AI is basically pre-prompted to its specific purpose. As example, like okay, what are the sorry? Well, as example, this is an example. Yeah, it knows like also its task achievements, coherence, cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical. So basically, it's pre-prompted. And if you search more, as example, IELTS summarizer or IELTS reviser, IELTS score, you will find a lot in the internet. Many companies or publishers are creating their own AI-powered machines for specific purposes. But again, my best recommendation is to pay attention and to let your students know that they need to pay attention more to the feedback, yeah, instead of the scoring, because that's what they need in the end of the day, right? They need to know what could be better from their writing or what could be revised. And basically, they are sentences, words, or sometimes can be about content. And as a large language models have developed, they can detect those things. And that's my best answers for now.
Yeah, thank you, Fajar, for showing us the AI. I think they're called AI agents, right? And within,
yes, correct. AI agents.
like pre-prompt AI agents. Okay. I think we're almost time is almost up in the session. Maybe we can have one more final question or feedback. I guess if not, that is also fine because I will be posting a discussion in Experts with Cambridge community. There will be a discussion space. So if you would like to talk more about it, you can just comment in that discussion space. And also we will be sharing the recording in our upcoming newsletter. So if you want to review on what Fajar just showed us, you're welcome to do that. And I guess we'll just call it a session for today. And I know for a lot of teachers, you're gonna start the new semester soon. So best of luck. Hope everyone has like a final good weekend. And then for those who are gonna start a new semester, best of luck with your new semester. Okay, thank you all for joining.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
teachers. Thank you. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Thank you, Sunny.
Yeah,
Let's
take
keep
care,
up
everyone.
the conversation in the community.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Take care.
Take care.